Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. It's funny biz time.
It's funny this time.
This time. Oh, it's funny
But
biz
the
time.
rhymes,
Y'all do
bars.
it. Hey, welcome to Funny Bits Podcast. I'm your host, Latisse, and welcome to another marvelous Friday Eve, y'all. It's glorious. Everybody's here. We ready to bang this out. We got special guests coming in today. Miss Kat Mosley will be here with us, y'all. Cannot wait. But before that, let me intro the people you know. Carl Rogers is here. What's up?
What's up, you Mickey Fickies? How you doing?
And of course, Larry XL is here.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? All right.
Gotta find me a cool hat. I need a cool hat.
I love that music. I could actually like rock out to it all night. But we're gonna get rocking. All right. So I'm already sipping on some tequila.
Uh-oh.
Started my Friday Eve early. You know what I'm saying? Gotta do what you gotta
It's like
do.
that old song. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes. All right. So let's see. So what's been going on with y'all? Tell me about it. How was your week? What's happening?
And
Well, I mean, I got out of town for the weekend last weekend to knock some things off the bucket list.
Mm. Oh,
So,
dude.
yeah. So I basically what happened was I learned how to shoot a gun.
Ooh, you went to a gun range?
Yep. Yeah.
you're
So
from the hood.
well, no, a buddy of mine. I contacted a buddy of mine who has that kind of training. Just asked him what to look for in a gun range because I was going to go to a place in Philly that was black owned, and they had like a gun safety course they would teach you, and they would charge you X amount of dollars. And he's like, man, I can get you access to a buddy of mine's range, and you can use my guns. It won't cost you anything. I'm like, all right, cool.
Nice.
So went down to where he lives. Went to a gun range, and I got big hands, so he's got a couple of different Glocks. So, like the first gun he gives me is like a 40 caliber, which is a hand cannon. Like, and so and also you got to go through. Like, I went before I even put any guns in my hand. I had to go through safety training. So basically, all the rules of like how to handle a gun safely and all that and stuff like that. So after about like 2 hours of this, I finally get to the gun range, get the gun in my hand, and 40 caliber. That when that goes off, it's like because I'm wearing earplugs and I got the noise canceling headphones, and when that thing goes off, it's still like what the hell?
Right.
So yeah, and so I learned how to load and fire a Glock, a 40 millimeter, a 9 millimeter, and then he also got to fire a 22.
Ooh.
And but basically he was like, yeah, I mean 22 is just so you can get a feel for something with less of a kick to it because
Right.
he goes in all honesty, like if somebody wants to like do you harm, a 22 is not going to stop them.
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay, but
That's not true.
You would think would make them back up though.
See, the thing about a 22 is that it's enough power to go through you, but it's enough. Well, what happens is it ricochets when it hits solid bone. It just ricochets, just shredding up the inside. So it's enough to do some nice bleed out.
Right, but it won't knock you. It won't knock you down.
Oh yeah.
He's like, if you want to like put somebody on the ground, you got to use a 9 millimeter. I'm like, all right, good to know. And just going through like the whole training and being on the gun course and like shooting off rounds, it just gives me a perspective on just guns in general that I didn't have before. And it just made me like, you know what? If you do some irresponsible shit with a gun out in public, I have no sympathy for you. You really should deserve whatever comes your way, because it's not a joke. And and we are very like gun fetishists in this country, and we make having a gun and firing a gun look sexy, and it's not. It is exhausting. When you're doing it right, it is exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I fired a gun years ago, but I haven't touched one since, I don't know, it's been over 15 years. But
I can't make any disclaimers about gun shooting on this live stream.
Up on. Can you talk about it, or can you still go to jail for whatever you were doing?
No, I was in the woods. And I shot a I think it was
a captain in the woods.
Yeah, yeah, I hit a tree or something. I don't know, nothing major.
Oh, and then I was also I didn't get to fire one, but I got to load see how to load and unload a shotgun.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to shoot a shotgun.
Is you don't need a permit to buy a shotgun, because you can just say, "Oh, I'm just doing it for hunting." So there's you can just go like in New Jersey, you can go anywhere and buy a shotgun off the shelf. Like, yeah, here, you can get your ammo at Walmart.
Oh my gosh.
That's the reason why Dick's Sporting Goods store, they took all their shotguns off the shelf.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
But so the place where I went, it was weird to go to a gun range and see just random bros and like Trump supporters all like in the same place, like doing target practice, looking at each other like, it's like I'm just practicing for when you guys mess up. I'm just practicing when you guys mess up. It's like, man, it's weird. It's like I don't know. It's you would think it would be tense in a situation like that, and it kind of is, but it's just different.
It's a neutral ground until you step outside that corridor.
Yeah.
And they be like, Negro.
Exactly. So, Carl, do you have one already, or are you getting one?
Oh, I'm getting getting one.
Well, actually, our special guest, we were doing one of the weekly Sucks to Be Quarantine mics, and I think she was talking about firearms. So this is going to be very interesting to bring her in the conversation too, because I'm not sure if I remember if she already owns one or if she was getting one. So I can't wait to ask her about this. But we have a lot of other things we're going to talk about too. Carl, so you're getting one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've shot many times in the past, but I saw some stuff that I really want to take a look into. And really with the current state that we're in, I just think that every law-abiding citizen should own at least one powerful weapon.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Like, it's one of the things. Like, yeah, you need it in case you need to protect yourself. But we're also living in a time where if you're black out in public and you got a gun, whether or not it's holstered or not, you're painting a target on your back.
Oh yeah, I thought about that too.
A bigger target on your back.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a friend out in Vegas. She carries hers. I think they're allowed to carry theirs out there.
Yeah.
Just wild to me. But
it reminds me that there was a lot of rules too. It was like basically don't put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire. Never point your gun at anything you aren't ready and willing to be to destroy. And then also the more important thing is like when you're make sure if you're going to fire at something that there's nothing in your field of fire that you aren't willing to hit as far as collateral damage goes. Right. So not only you got to focus on what you're aiming at, you got to focus on be aware of your surroundings so you don't, hit somebody you ain't trying to hit.
I know that's right. Well, I'm super excited. If y'all just tuning in, y'all know this is Funny Bits Podcast. We do this every Friday Eve. We don't say the T word because Friday Eve just sounds more festive. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can catch up on previous shows. We've had some dynamic special guest, and today is no exception because I absolutely adore and love and cherish this woman. She is fearless, is the word that comes to mind when I hear the name Kat Mosley. And I'm super excited to bring her in. Y'all, just start clapping, just imaginary. I don't care what y'all doing. Yay, bring Kat Mosley here. What's up, girl?
Hey, hi,
What's going
Latisse. Hey,
on?
Larry XL. Hey, Carl Rogers. Hey, I'm so happy to be with y'all. Let me run it down. We're not using the N word. We're not cursing on here.
Right.
Hey, Sunday nights are different. All right.
Be you.
All right.
Be
All right.
you.
It might happen. It might happen.
It might happen, but we pretty cool. So thank you for joining us, Miss Mosley.
Thanks so much for having
How
me.
are you?
I am giddy. That firearm conversation got me so giddy. And then you said fearless, and I was like, fearless is so much easier with a firearm.
Yes.
During lockdown when people can't call the cops on me, because you can't call the cops on me for hurting your feelings in the virtual. That's ridiculous.
That's right. Sure can. So let's talk about it.
It's America. They will call the cops on you for anything.
Oh, they're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
They're gonna come up with cyber crimes real fast if I hurt their feelings bad enough. If I really tell them.
I know that's
cyber crimes will speed up. They'll put pandemic relief on hold for cyber crimes.
Right. So talk about it, because I remember we got into a firearm discussion of a while back. Do you have one, or were you getting ready to purchase one?
I do own one, and in the beginning, like for months, I just didn't talk openly about it, and I still have mixed feelings. Okay. But a thing that I can be clear on is that my firearm journey was about me. Right. So I had a situation in comedy. Y'all know we encounter people in comedy. There was a situation that just got out of hand. And I realized that, especially as a female comedian, there's just a lot. It's not safe out there. It's not. The world isn't safe for a lot of people, but.
Okay. What headliner did you have to pull a gun on?
No, first of all,
who came on?
The initials are LCK. No, I'm not his type.
It's not even a headliner. He's barely a comedian. So this dude, I know exactly who she's talking about. It's so crazy because I literally was talking to another comedian last night about this person and how the comedian that I was hanging out with had to block them off of social media because they just start wilding out again. And I was like, how many chances do you give a sociopath? Like, how many? I don't think they deserve, we
aren't naming names. We aren't naming names.
Oh, well, Kat feels like she
are not. I'm not going to do. You know why? Because one of the grossest things about this situation is I do my own life, but my name travels with this dude. Because when they're like, who is this dude? They're like, oh, he did this to Kat Mosley. And he does it. He runs around town telling this story.
Right. And it really shouldn't be talked about.
I didn't know he was married. My name is with you. It's weird. It's weird. It's so baby daddy you hate. You know what I mean? It's weird.
That's so funny.
So, like, do you carry your gun on stage ever?
I have not actually carried yet because I made a deal with myself that I was not going to carry until I knew I was adept at using it.
Okay.
So I there's a level of skill that I know. So I was listening to you, Larry, and I agree. There's a level of skill that I know that I personally need to have. So just because I have it, it doesn't mean I'm suddenly like a 14-year-old gangbanger holding it sideways. Like, I'm holding my shit straight up, securely.
Yeah,
and firing for success.
When the kick hits you and you hear that explosion, it's like there's this thing in your mouth like, why do people think this is fun? There are people that love to shoot guns, and I'm like, what the
there's a real kickback on those.
There's a real kickback, and also you're holding life and death in your hand, and you are responsible for all the metal that you're kicking out there, and you got to answer for it. It's like, do you really want that level of responsibility for something.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
like,
yes,
for
but I'm
something,
still
anything less than like a life-threatening situation.
Right. I'm sitting here like,
I'm still,
I'm thinking
yeah,
about it. I don't know if
yeah.
I will, but I've been thinking about it.
Because there are people that just love to brandish weapons, and I'm like, yeah,
Right.
like I don't own a gun, and I don't want people to know that I own a gun if I even know I did own a gun, because like if I want it to be a surprise, if it's if you're coming to like do something to me, I want it to come out of nowhere and be like, oh, he's got a gun. That
Right.
For
kind of
me, it
situation.
was like it's interesting what you're saying about holding life and death in your hands, because there's a way that our society, coddle is a strong word, but there's a way that our morality coddles us
Yeah.
when our reality says something different. And
Mhm.
what we know is that in a Black body, particularly a Black female body, but absolutely a Black male body, aren't you holding life and death in your very body whenever you leave the house?
Yeah.
Couldn't anything actually happen to you
Right.
without being addressed by the law
Right.
properly whenever you leave the house?
Yep.
And so for me, it felt important to confront the fact that whenever I'm leaving the house, I'm holding my life and death in my own hands, mine. And the law might not address it, because let me tell you, while I was super friendly initially with law enforcement, what I found was that they were ultimately requiring blood. We're
Yeah.
in a weird liberal state where we can't have high numbers of arrests and prosecutions, because that makes our city look super pro criminal enforcement. So it's not in the city's interest to go after a person who's coming after me with no blood. That's not a news story.
Right.
So I realized the risk I was taking. It's very inconvenient for me to get bloodied somewhere or to watch people get bloodied. I got to heal that in my brain. This is ridiculous. So
Right.
I needed
Right.
to know that I was addressing my life
Mhm.
in my hands.
I know
And
that's
let me
right.
tell you, without even being ready to kill motherfuckers, I did it. But I didn't do the other word. I just
Yay!
did motherfuckers so far.
You can
But
do
even
it.
without necessarily being ready to kill motherfuckers right now, I feel so much more empowered in
Mhm.
the world because
Good.
I
Yep.
feel ready for that moment. I think what happens to people, I watch a lot of Criminal Minds, y'all, and
Mhm.
it's just so interesting how these people get people. And I think what makes your mark weak is they are existing in this world where morality matters when somebody's coming for you. Morality distinctly doesn't matter. Whatever your world's ethics are, they don't matter when
Right.
somebody's coming for you. That's
So
how them
speaking
serial
of
killers get so many people. Anyway.
Yeah, but I
right.
look, I understand the whole like wanting to defend your home or defending your personal self,
Mhm.
but like it's the mentality of like, all right, like say you hear somebody like taking a gun into a club, and it's like, well, hold up. If you need a gun to go into that club, why are you
I
going to that club in the
know.
first place? That does not sound like fun to
Exactly.
me.
Exactly.
I'm talking about comedy.
Yeah,
What I have chosen to do, what I actually feel called to do, gives all kinds of people access to me.
yeah,
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm preparing for. I've never really been a club person. I've never done stilettos. I don't fully understand it. I'm jealous of big white girls taking all the big Black men all the time. It's a difficult situation for me. So I don't really do clubs, but I have to do comedy clubs.
Oh
So
God. Yes. So speaking of guns, the story broke on, I guess, late Monday, early Tuesday about Breonna Taylor's family taking the settlement, and the officers are still not arrested. How y'all feel about that? I want to hear your opinion, Kat.
it's not enough. I'm not mad at the family for taking a settlement.
Right.
This is painful. I cannot imagine the trauma. And
Mhm.
every time I see her mother, she's crying. Y'all, my Hulu is crazy. I think the algorithm is racist. I think the algorithm is programmed by Russia. Because whenever a show goes off that I'm watching on the Hulu, that special where they interviewed all the mothers of Black children who have been shot,
Yeah.
have you seen that interview? There's an interview with like 7 mothers
I
who have
know. I
lost
remember
children
when
this
it
way.
happened. There's just certain things
Yeah.
that I will not watch because of that. And it's not that I don't
Yeah.
care, it's because I'm a mom, I'm a Black mom, and things like that are so close to my heart. that sometimes it's just hard to watch. There's certain movies I won't even
And
watch.
plus, and another aspect of it that bothers me is like we've become a society that finds entertainment in other people's misery.
Yeah,
What?
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yes.
if you
I
look at-
describe
if you-
it's
I
like
mean-
showing up at a funeral with an erection.
Yeah,
Like you're there to taste people's tears.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at like all the cable channels, if you look at like the History Channel, the Learning Channel, all the other, there's like Intervention, My 600-Pound Life, 16 and pregnant, 16 and recovering.
We
It's
consume suffering.
Yeah,
Yes.
like at what point
Well,
does it cross
listen,
the line between
this-
education
think
and
about
like
Think
just
about this
like
though. It
yeah.
goes back to Roman times. They would sit in the Colosseum and watch people get torn up by lions and tigers.
Yeah.
Right.
Humans,
They delight in this.
love that shit. It's been for
Mm-hmm.
centuries now.
Okay, but I'll give the Roman times a pass because I mean, really, they didn't have cable. What else did they have to watch? It's like you got one channel.
telling
it's
you,
like
but
people-
That's the thing is we got cable now.
That's
Yeah,
where it started.
We can
It's-
make
it's-
believe that
it's
stuff is happening. We got
embedded
makeup. Yeah. We got
It's embedded
CGI. We got all kinds of things
yeah,
for blood and gore.
like it's
But this is a problem. And that's why. So even though the Hulu thing is probably programmed by Russia, like every time I finish a show, it loops back around to the Seven Mothers every time. And
Yeah.
it's them saying something I remember saying
Oh,
in June, which is, y'all think we want this. Like I
Yeah,
was
and
listening
then-
to y'all's show when there's white backlash, it's because they're jealous that we seem popular.
Right.
And we're like, you think we want? How about you just stop? Just stop. And that's what the mothers are saying. I don't want speaking engagements because I don't have my kid. This is ridiculous.
Right. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They
And then,
remember it every day. Every day.
now I'm seeing a lot of commercials for that Janelle Monáe movie Antebellum, and I'm like, look, you can praise it all you want. I'm done with slave movies. All right, I'm not.
I know, but it's a mixture. See, okay, so now I have mixed
They're so
feelings
good at
about
them
this
now.
one
That's the
because
thing.
it interested me when I saw the trailer because I was like, okay, is she like flashing back? Is she remembering like another life that she lived? Like I trying to grasp the concept of this movie, so I might watch it because of the way it looks like it jumps between time frames, like time pieces, like time itself. So I'm like, what is this? I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it all goes back to like a movie. I would say like what was the movie? Beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that was like a passion project for Oprah. I'm like, Oprah, you are one of the richest black women on the planet. Why do you want to play slave in a movie when you could do anything you want with your money? It isn't like you absolutely like, I can see, and I get it, she probably wants an Academy Award or some sort of critical acclaim, but she didn't have to do that. She could have I want to see a movie where Oprah is like a gangster and just killing people with impunity and not getting arrested for it. That's the kind of movie I want to see Oprah doing.
That would be great.
I cannot publicly speak ill of Beloved, nor do I condone anybody publicly speaking ill of Beloved on behalf of the Sisterhood of Black Women. I apologize, Oprah.
Right.
No, but a critique I have of like the long history of Black movies we have is they show Black suffering isolated from white cause. So when white people are consuming Black suffering, they're not getting that what you're consuming is your ongoing wrongdoing. This is in our culture. And it's hard to tell Black stories that include that suffering without including the white people. And at this point, I think it's incomplete. So that's some of the work we've been doing. Like anybody who cares about Rutherford B. Hayes? Nobody. But the impact of what Rutherford B. Hayes did, he's a president. Did y'all know that? They so don't care about him. He ain't even on money. But he like reversed Reconstruction. It was because Rutherford B. Hayes was a coward that like after emancipation, we have all this impact today, but he is not. That story isn't told. So I'm more interested in stories that show white cause.
There are so many stories that aren't told. And and you find this out as you get older because they whitewash everything. And we talked about that. So let's talk about real quick how phenomenal you are and that we just concluded the 26th
I'm about to text my therapist.
Thank you. Sucks to be quarantined. stand-up comedy at Fergie's, basically now virtual for the last 6 months. You are just a pioneer, actually, because you jumped right on the virtual thing before it was even a thing. And it's such a funny story because I remember when you started asking me to come on, and I was like, nah, I don't know. And I think I turned you down like maybe twice. I think I think 2 weeks or so where I was like, nah. And then I think
ain't nobody want to do that mess. Nobody wanted to do it. Sorry to interrupt.
Right.
I didn't.
And then I got a taste of the virtual. I started doing a Zoom show or something for something else, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me do." And I did like Cinco de Mayo Zoom party, and I was doing all this stuff like online. And I was like, you know what? Let me jump into this mic and see what's happening. And I fell in love with Sucks to Be Quarantined. And you turned it into, it's so awesome how that show morphed into how it ended on Sunday. And I was just like in awe thinking about it because there was such a transformation. Like you could go back to like the first weeks or first month even, and it looks so different from how it looked on last Sunday. So talk about that and talk about how you even thought about doing that.
You know what? I feel like a 90s award ceremony where I'm like, first and foremost, I got to give it up to God. Because seriously, y'all, this world is crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. I say all the motherfuckers I want to say, but honestly, where'd it come from? I don't know. And then I had to Black woman the hell out of it, which is like responding to difficulty with all of the creativity I can summon. I ain't got no baby, so I had a little creativity to spare. Like I just had to go for it. We were in a situation where I became the senior member of a live weekly mic. That felt important to me. The crisis felt important to me. Keeping my funny friends inspired and funny. Like I could just see it. Everything was shutting down.
Yep.
People didn't recognize how much it was already impacting them. They were crazy on Facebook before the pandemic was declared. It was happening as rooms were closing. People were going crazier. So I knew it was important to start something. And I do say, listen, if you check out my social media, it is very spotty. For me to be like consistently on social media, some necessity had to kick in. And then I gotta say, we couldn't have done it without community. We did everything we could to bind you, Latisse. We bound you. We put you up top in the credits when we.
I was like,
we never let you go.
When I came back, like, okay, so it was like I missed a couple weeks, and then I came back, and y'all had this new intro, this whole Saturday Night Live type intro. I was like, what the hell? And they were like, with our queen Latisse. I said, what?
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it.
Purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I loved it.
But yeah, we had to do that. So something that happened is as people adapted, people got habituated to the virtual space. They knew we were there and they started to treat us more like a streaming show in their viewing, which meant a different sort of audience. They're over the novelty of seeing their friends on screen. Why? Because you're doing that all week on your day job, looking at people talking on a Zoom. So we had to just keep evolving. Yeah, but thank y'all for letting me talk at length because I got to give it up to week 4. The show started in response to the pandemic. Week 4 of the show, all of the coronavirus statistics about Black people hit. And I was like, I don't like this.
I remember.
And my show, remember?
I remember.
And it had been a very white show prior to that because it came from Sansom Street. So that was the pool of comics we worked with. And my crew was mostly white. And I was like, I'm creating a show where I'm doing a lot of the building in the background as a Black woman and amplifying white voices. And then this is happening with Corona. No.
Yo,
so
Kat,
I blacked out the show.
Kat went in there like a freaking tornado and was like, fuck this. All y'all half-ass niggas, like, get your shit together. It was hilarious. And what I saw was the delegation that you started to give and have other people doing, because you were doing everything, and they literally would just show up.
And
And
other people would talk about the show and name the white men on the show.
yeah,
I was like, what?
You were like, oh hell no. And it
Nah.
changed immediately. I mean,
Mhm.
from having, Satoyo on every week, you had Chris Espy, that Manny jumped in.
Lamar Todd,
Yes,
David James,
yes,
Will Charles,
yes,
like the stack up top, Betty
yes,
Smithsonian. We had token whites. We didn't.
right, right.
We
Really,
knew the
that's
audience
the
had to
Jew
feel
crew.
safe.
That was the Jew
No, but
crew.
they were, the Jew crew was, they did that too. That was Jew on Jew crime.
Yeah,
They were doing that anti-Semitism. I left that mess alone.
right. Like, I love Jewish people.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, but everything that happened, like during the pandemic, we dealt with it every week, which I
Every week.
loved. You had a theme. There started to be a theme every week, and everything between George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, everything, we talked about it every week, and it was so powerful, and it was necessary, and it was cathartic, and we all needed that. So like, I can't say enough about you and the crew. I'm just
Thank you. I
honored
mean,
that
it's
I would
nice
be
that
a
you
part of it.
include them, but it's me. Thank you for including me, trash
Let
ass
me,
niggas.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this: Are virtual shows here to stay, or do you think they're going to fade into the background once real live shows start back up again?
This is a great question. This is a great question. I think, yeah, I think both. I think both, and I think that we've experienced both. And I think that's part of the transition to like more of a streaming presentation of the show than a live presentation of the show. I think the audiences are different. I just talked with the crew about this last night because we're strategizing for season 2. So now we definitely have two distinct audiences that we're working with in the virtual space. So there's something that comedians enjoy in our live show, our rowdy show, where you come in and you get eaten by the piranha. But audiences require something else. And so I think we're working with that. Like the comedian audience online is still important. Comedian credibility is important to us and participation. And they are not going to get as much stage time as they need right now. And I don't know if people are going to be like, listen, if there's ice on the ground, your virtual is not going to be canceled. It's
That's
just, is
right.
it worth it for the virtual crew to run it?
Well,
Um,
but then again, it's like at the end of the day, you know, if these are professional comedians that you're dealing with, are they getting compensated for their time and their talent anywhere near as well as they would have if they were in a live flesh and blood like type performance venue? Or is this just basically, hey, it is what it is, you're just getting screen time for this showing up thing that you're doing?
This is a great question, and it's somewhere in the middle because I bring way too many ethics and too much African American history into my approach to the show. And so it is at core unethical for me to run a show where people are uncompensated. But there is a crew of people that essentially work uncompensated. There was one point where we had enough money that I could pay the crew. And then I paid the host panel nominal amounts, which over time can amount to something. So it ends up being $40 to $50 a month for the host panel. They're paid a little bit per appearance on the host panel, and they keep the room lively. So it's humble because we lost our source of income, which was bar sales. So because of our ethics, we tried fundraising online, and in season 2, we're looking toward better compensation models, a more sustainable model for at least part of the show, and then maybe part of the show that's just a gift to comedy community and like that kind of workshop environment, which is uncompensated and always has been at open mics.
Right.
Okay.
Did I
love
answer
this. I
you?
love
So
it.
we're thinking about it.
As a
Yeah.
comic, I'm worried that
It is exploitative.
yeah,
Yes.
I know, but it is what it is. But I'm worried about the long term effect of all this, because if these comics are out
Dangerous.
here, if comics are out here basically doing these Zoom shows and they're just doing it for free, and the audience is taking it in for free and not even leaving their house, then who's to say we're not training audiences to not want to go out and not want to pay for comedy once this is all over? Because there's been like a year or two of this, like just sitting at home in your sweatpants, performing, sitting at home in your sweatpants, catching a comedy show. And now you're not, you don't want to go out and actually spend money and
Yeah.
time traveling to see these guys perform in the flesh.
I feel like it's bad body language for me to be shaking my head this way while you're talking. I'm like, no, Larry. But my experience has been that your live audience will not choose my virtual show over your live performance. What my virtual show does is it gives people access to people they don't have access to live. So
Right.
I've been at Punchline. The demand for live comedy is there. Letitia's up in your experience. They're
Yeah.
in the seats. They're coming out on weird nights, y'all, to
Yeah.
sit and watch live comedy. That demand is still there. The human demand for live contact with other human beings is still there. I think that's what's unique about what we did. I stayed focused on relationships the entire time because relationships are removed in this environment. I'm not
Right.
in the room with y'all, and the audience doesn't get that sense of all of us in the room together. So we try in the virtual, but we'll never mimic. Excuse me, I'm a preacher. I should be like, ha. We'll never mimic what they have
Well,
in the live rooms.
Right. It's so true. And I
Ever.
totally agree though with you. It's both. It's a combination of both, because I think people didn't realize how instrumental virtual shows could be until they started to see them and be a part of them. And then even with comedy coming back slowly and with the outside, shows we were talking about, because a couple weeks ago I was able to do a drive-in show, which was amazing.
Ooh.
And I've been doing some of the Punchline, their patio, and then on the bigger, they transformed one of the other parking lots next to the Fillmore into a second stage. So Punchline is really, really making it work in the midst of all this. So, and I like both platforms. That's what I realized. Like, because like you said, virtually, people in California, people in friggin' New Zealand, we had Shannon in Hawaii every week with us. And it's like, that wouldn't have happened if we were still literally in the Fergie's building. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
We would have been running room to room.
Right.
Yeah.
So the accessibility is amazing with virtual, which is exciting, because I'm also teaching virtually now. And so anybody in the world could actually take my class if they want to. And that's what we were talking about as well. So there's benefits to both. But what we also realize is that we are essential. Okay. So throughout this pandemic, we realized that they need laughter just as much as we need to provide it, and to be able to laugh and joke around with us. So that's why I loved the Sucks to Be Quarantine, knowing that was every Sunday. And when everything had shut down, like when everything had stopped for those first few months, that was our lifeline. Right. And we would start at like 8:45.
Yeah.
And literally look up and we would be like, it's 1:00 in the morning.
We would just run it.
We would just going. And then even after we were like, all right, we're not live on Facebook anymore, this is over. And then we would still be in the Zoom.
Like 3 more hours.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because we missed that interaction with each other. And it was so much fun. We're like drinking and eating, and like it just felt good. So it was,
we were with there was a bonding there, because
Yeah.
we were in our homes, comfortable with each other. Yeah.
And we realized that, I think, after I had started coming in, and I think like maybe month 2 or month 3 into month 3 for me, I remember saying like, I'm closer to you guys now. Like even once we're outside, there were some people that I'd never even really had conversations with, but now we were in this virtual show together and being able to talk. And I was like, oh, we're bonded forever because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it'll
We
be
came
different.
through it. Yeah. This was a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
We came through a
For sure.
pandemic together.
Yeah. Yep.
So we weren't human centipeded, but like
Right.
this was still trauma.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. So now that you've kind of got this established, does that mean you aren't confined to, you know, the norms as far as like, you know, can you do a mic on Thanksgiving if you want to, or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day if you want to, because really what's stopping you from doing it?
And that's what's awesome about the crew.
Exactly.
Frank is a person who's constantly reminding us that we don't exist in a box, not even the box of our own creation. And that's something
Right.
I've complained to him about is, did I just build a plantation for myself? This is ridiculous. My fingers are sore. So yes, we are going to explore even more the freedoms that we have in the virtual space. So
I
we
love
have
it.
the freedom of editing. We have the freedom of timing. We have the freedom of popping up on you whenever we want to with an episode, with a sketch.
Yep.
And that's something you don't have in the contractual relationships that come with television and streaming. You can't just pop up all over the place. Somebody has to pay for that. Somebody has to agree to that. But I and the crew just have to agree. Our
Right.
funny friends agree, and we go
Yes.
live. So we maintain that freedom.
Right. Well, that's
And we're going to be
awesome.
looking into more ways to do it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
check this out. I don't know if you saw this story. It actually broke on September 12th, earlier this week. There was a professor, Jessica Krug. Did you hear about her?
I just
She
heard she
so she's the Black
confessed.
Studies professor at George Washington University,
Mhm.
and all this time she's been saying she's Black and she's white. So
Mhm.
we have another one
Mhm.
that
Better credit score shot up, didn't it?
right.
Mhm. What'd you say?
Better credit score shot up real overnight, didn't it?
Right.
Yep.
So this caught my eye because I'm like, what is this? So in the article, you know, when she finally confessed and said, you know, I have been doing this horrible lie, and she got to the point where she's like, yeah, I should be canceled. You know, I want to cancel myself and this and that, and you know, she's feeling bad. The university basically said, if you do not resign, you will be fired and your tenure will be, you know, taken away, basically. So, but what do you think about this, Kat?
I think you know how many dark-skinned Black women probably interacted with her over the years and never trusted her,
Right,
ever. I think this Black people's fault.
right. You know, like
Too
yeah,
accepting.
look inside, you know, getting the side eye, like this bitch really. So but what was interesting was her lie continued to morph. So at first she was like from Northern Africa, she descended from Northern
Right.
Africa.
Wasn't she from the
Then she
Bronx
went to
too?
the Caribbean side. Then it was
Mhm.
like she was Bronx Jamaican
Mhm.
Black, and I'm like,
Mhm.
No.
who sits around and thinks about doing this shit? Like I don't understand this. And I mean, she ended up being a professor for years under this fake umbrella.
Because here's the thing, it's America. We will let white women do anything without question. You know, it's like we will let white chicks rap. You know, it's like
This is old. We give Black woman songs to white women. Okay, not we. White people did that.
yeah,
Took Black people's songs and gave them to
yeah.
them.
We will let mediocre white chicks do anything.
Anything.
You know, and when we do it, when Black women have to do something, they got to be excellent at it. They got to be in like the top 5 and
That's for everything. Yeah.
anything. But
You know why? Because they'll call us naturally talented when
yeah,
we're amazing.
bottom 5 white chicks,
Right.
they will let them in any arena.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Rap
reminds me
rap
of
music,
Derek Gaines.
reggae, you know, DJing. Just
Yeah, or beatboxing. So Derek Gaines had this joke years ago about how he entered this beatboxing contest and this white dude gets up and you know he was basic, you know, so he did like he did the beatbox and it was like you know, just regular shit, right? Then he said he gets up there and he's like, you know, doing all that, and you know, I mean, like he killed it, right? And so the white people were like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do with those big lips. That's exactly what he's supposed to like.
Yep.
And I was dying because it's so true. Like they just expect us to just be able to do shit naturally, and we get no credit for being excellent at anything.
This is pathological. How is that not plantation? How is that not just assuming that you are here for my enjoyment? And if I enjoy you, that's just what it's supposed to be. It's not work for you.
Dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling you, it's messed up. But
very mad about that. Yeah.
Right. But reading this story, I was just like, wow, is she for real?
Another one.
Yeah.
I blame black men for this.
There's got to be there's got like for people like that. There's got to be some sort of like black aptitude test that they have to like pass in order to be able, you know, to claim their status. All right, they gotta like we gotta see them make some potato salad. We gotta see them
should be administered by dark-skinned black women over 40.
I'm sorry. Everybody was in an uproar about Adele, this latest picture that she came up online with like an African headdress. She had a Jamaican bikini top, and everybody's like, you know, what's the deal? Like, we know you're from England, so why are you trying to look like you're you know, African all of a sudden? Like, I don't know. She had this headdress.
Look, I don't care what she goes to the beach wearing, just as long as she stays in her musical lane and doesn't, you know, try to go.
She's not even doing that anymore, and people are like just flipping out just because she lost like you know 2 people from her body. She's very thin now. I mean, good for her. But everybody was tripping off of that, and then she surfaced with this get up on, and they're like, "Well, what is she doing now?" Like,
when she put the braids in, when she lost the weight, put the braids in,
and put braids in, right.
Isn't that the neighbor chick from Blackish? What the hell?
That's my girl too.
Yeah,
it's so funny. She's so funny, and she's probably done a cornrow sketch before. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she is hilarious. When she shows up at Rainbow's door at any given time, it's gonna be some wild shit.
Her timing is crazy.
Perfect.
It's great. It's so spot on for those awkward white woman moments. It's so good.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was like, that was her thing on King of Queens too, because she was just like, the crazy chick.
Yes, I remember that.
Crazy hot mess.
So, Carl, you wanted to talk about Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight versus Kat. Did you check that out?
I haven't seen it. No, we competed against it for the season finale.
That's right. I picked Sucks to Be Quarantined instead of watching that.
Thank you.
I don't think
did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put all like the cool black shit at the same time, so they can fuck up our ratings and everything. Because like football, Lovecraft Country, and then the Patti LaBelle thing. It's like, look, you got to really spread this out during the week.
Right,
black on black ratings.
You don't have Rough Riders Chronicles or like No Limit Chronicles. Put that on. Slide that into the Patti LaBelle thing on Wednesday night when there's that window that we're missing.
But then what really happened with Dionne Warwick made a guest appearance too. So Carl, talk about it. You watched it.
I watched as much as I could possibly watch without just start tripping, because I don't like the term versus. Like Patti LaBelle versus Gladys Knight. I was looking for a fist fight, because you know how Patti sometimes she's rough. She go up in that eye, be like, "Don't touch my hot sauce." You know, don't talk about my peach cobbler.
Sweet potato pies.
That's sweet potato pie. So, but it was nice. They were singing pretty good, but it was more or less like a reunion. They were just sitting down and chatting and just, you know, because if it was a verse kind of thing, I like Gladys Knight. I love Patti. My mom loved Gladys. I saw Gladys Knight when I was a kid in the Pips. But if it was a verse thing, only thing Patti would have had to do was just sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, like, hey,
and start flying. And she started flying. when Patty started flapping those arms, she go. But they were talking about, so it was basically, it came down to auntie versus auntie. That's what it
it was like auntie voice fight.
No,
it was like
I'd rather see Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Dionne Warwick compete in an episode of Chopped, because that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Let's go.
That's much more interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody else would be singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'll be like, listen.
I love that the aunties don't battle, though.
Right.
They ended up singing with each other, right? It ended up being like a collab. Yeah.
Yeah.
We fight behind
they really have, like, they don't have to prove anything to anybody.
They really don't.
To the down in the process. They're like, look, we've been in the game 50 years. Through all this competition, we're just going to collaborate.
Yeah. Somebody posted online talking about Aretha Franklin looking down from heaven, talking about when y'all gonna sing.
Yeah.
But they got tired after a while because they started doing Milli Vanilli. I was like, do I hear an echo in the background there? But to me, it was still cool. I loved it. It was nice.
But I love that thought that when you're established like 50 years, you don't have to battle each other, really. It's like, have you heard I'm Dionne Warwick? You don't have to choke Patty out with a note.
Nope.
Yeah, I like the idea of somebody like two artists that have that, that body of work to make it interesting, instead of like the whole, Brandy and Monica, where they were both hot for like 3 years. And it's like
don't get me started. Listen, Brandy and Monica are good in their own right. Okay, don't get me started.
I know, but they weren't. You can't put them in the same category.
They're not Patty and Dionne.
As Patty and Gladys, because after a certain while, both of them fell off. They had to get acting or producing or some other stuff because they weren't getting the chart hits anymore. They had to like go into some different stuff. Like, I'm surprised they didn't doing infomercials.
Monica's been on T.I. and Tiny's show for a while.
The reality show.
She has? I didn't know it,
once you start doing reality shows, it's a wrap.
She's really good friends with Tiny, so when they started their show, she's on there, and the girl from who got kicked out of Destiny's Child back in the day, she's one of her friends. I was like, ooh, okay.
So it's like the fell off crew,
right?
Yeah. Real battles like DMX versus Mystical. That's what you want, something like that. Real, like that may turn out to a real fight, something like that.
Up in here, I could use that.
I don't think DMX is going for it. If you watch the Rough Riders Chronicles, you see how, first of all, how damaged mentally DMX is. I don't mean like that in a bad way. I mean like the amount of stuff he had to overcome, and you can see that stuff still hurts him to his core. Right. And everybody recognized that and still like, yeah, we could get him some help, but let's make a whole lot of money off of him, right?
Those are the best ones.
I don't think DMX would go for that. And then who's he? Like Mystical. I mean, come on, Mystical did his own career in going to jail twice for sexual assault.
All right, let's take Mystical out. Never mind. Let's move on.
Yeah.
No, the devil just told me to say one, but it would be like a cross-genre battle. It would be R. Kelly versus Bill Cosby, like Songs for This.
That's hilarious.
I'd rather see a roast battle of that than a rap battle.
So, here's a question. So, when do you think, have you gotten any word about Fergie's, and are they going to be able to reopen? What's going on with them?
So hard with the indoor rules. So no, I haven't heard about them opening up yet.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
I still
they can't socially distance up there.
Yeah.
I said it before and I say it again. I still think any club that reopens, like if they're opening at 25% capacity, there's no excuse for them not doing shows 7 nights a week.
Right.
I think some rooms here, they're called like Punchline, opening up the multi-show nights. Yeah, they're responding to the demand. They're like, well, if we're doing it, let's do it.
For sure.
Which I actually want to see. It's what we had to do in the virtual. So I like that people are figuring out how to do it in the live. Now that you can be open, how can you do it?
Yep.
You know what's my mom? Y'all talked about Aretha, and at Aretha's funeral, everybody should look up Fantasia's performance at Aretha.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw
funeral.
that.
I just have to put
Ooh, child.
Ooh,
I know.
shoes off. Made Jesse Jackson stand up. Y'all see how he
Right.
has aged? He's
I
aged in
know
a very
that's right.
concerning way, but she moved him. She moved him.
So, quick question. So, Kat, quick question because every week on our show we always do National Calendar Days, and are you aware that there's a National Calendar Day for every day of the year?
Yes, because I didn't look up to days, but I listened to an October episode of y'all's show,
Oh, you did?
and yes, yes.
So it started as a pet peeve of mine, but now I'm like really obsessed. So if you uh I'm going to jump into the National Calendar Days, and then we're going to close it out. But before you leave, I want everybody to get your social media so they can find you. But I think some of these National Calendar Days are very interesting. I did not do the whole list for this Friday Eve on September
Oh, there's a
17th,
list.
but I will
Yeah.
tell y'all that it is National Professional House Cleaning Day. So my thing is, so are
That's
we supposed to
racist.
like
Go ahead.
hire like Mary Maids and have people come in?
I'm uncomfortable with the entire concept.
Right.
Professional
So,
house cleaning?
wait, what
Because
if you
it's
just
not going to be me. I know
what if
that.
you just hire a white woman to come in and clean your place? I mean,
Yes. Let's do that.
yeah.
Put a justice spin on it for free. Did you say
Right.
hire? But they won't do it right. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
I
Cat
got so
was
many
coming in with
comments
the
right
white
now.
glove, like, nah, bitch, clean that
Mm-mm,
again.
mm-mm. Did you even move this table before you?
Right.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. It's also National Apple Dumpling Day. I could get down with a good apple dumpling now.
I'm in favor.
Yes.
Yo,
We
the
love
apple
food on
dumpling.
this show, by the
My
way.
my
Mhm.
aunt used to make this thing called butter bread, sweet butter roll, and you can
Ooh.
actually add any kind of fruit you want with it. So you had an apple dumpling, sweet butter roll, peach, blueberry.
We could fill an entire
Okay.
episode of like
Love.
stories about
Food.
stuff Carl's aunties used to cook back in the day.
And
Mhm.
food we like to eat. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all
Mhm.
this. Walmart, okay, which I did not know until I started when I was working with NRG and had to be in Walmarts all day. Walmarts have these little mini pies, 2 for $1. Okay, they got
Yes,
So yeah,
they
no,
have
I have to pretend
apple,
those don't
they
exist.
have sweet potato, they have dairy.
No.
Yes.
they
So
got beans. They
Are
got
they patty
greens.
pies?
so let me tell y'all,
Tomatoes.
this is what I've been hooked on, and now I got my daughter hooked on this too. We make pie a la modes because those little mini ones is just perfect. You put them in the microwave for about 30 seconds, get that vanilla ice cream, 1 scoop, boom. We had, and then we put cinnamon toast crunch cereal on top. Girl, woo!
What
Child,
are
let me
you
tell you.
smoking? You
I
can't.
love those. Those pies keep
Yes.
me going to the chicken place
That's
all
one
day.
of
I
the-
love those little pies.
Listen,
That's
they're
one of
so
me and the kids'
perfect.
favorites.
They're perfect. What'd you
I
say,
grab
Carla?
I grab a bunch of different flavors and let them just go at it, and some whipped cream.
Yep. I got the
Mhm.
Cool Whip, baby. I got some Cool Whip. We went to town, y'all.
There you go. But you get that French vanilla ice cream, put that down there on that thing. There you go. You'll be
Ooh,
all right. There you go.
yeah. Get that down there, that.
And make you want to hug yourself, boy. Make
doing-
you want to hug yourself like Ray Charles, like, oh yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna give y'all a head start and a jump start on tomorrow. So Friday, take advantage. Is September 18th. National Cheeseburger Day if you eat cheeseburgers, or you can make a vocal burger, turkey burger. I don't care what you do. It's National Cheeseburger Day, and it's also
Cheeseburger got meat on it. Go ahead, let's go.
also Hug Your Boss Day tomorrow. Ooh, now most of us
I
don't
work for
have
myself.
bosses.
I'm self-employed, so
Exactly. You get to hug yourself. If you're your own boss, hug yourself.
Yeah.
But I thought that was
right.
cool. So those are the national calendar days today. I would normally do celebrity birthdays. I did not, but happy birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday on September 17th, happy birthday to you. Is it still Virgo season, y'all?
Everybody got that going
Yeah.
see.
All right. So
Yeah,
wait,
we haven't-
Larry, when's
yeah.
your birthday? You should be coming up.
no, we just passed it. It was just past Tuesday.
What?
Oh, happy belated.
Oh my God. Happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry.
What do you like?
Oh,
come
I see
on.
you got the hat I sent
You
you.
gotta do something
That's what's
bigger than that. Like what? I know it's a pandemic and everything, but we can still social distance and wear our masks and do something.
Yeah, man.
We gotta talk offline.
I'm cool. Whatever,
We gotta celebrate for sure. We gotta celebrate. But
I'm
happy
gonna puff a
belated.
little CBD to you.
I know. Get them edibles popping. Okay,
yeah,
so
I found a new place too.
so Kat,
don't tell my local connect, but I found a place when I was on the road.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That it's
Kat,
always so nice.
Before you leave, please tell everyone where they can find you. I know you're on Instagram under.
I am. I'm Real Catania on Instagram. It's a terrible name. I've been saying I was going to change it for like a year and a half.
I think it's a beautiful name. Do not change your name.
That's nice.
Should I keep it Real Catania?
Yeah.
Okay, Real Catania.
Like
yeah.
Real.
And on Twitter, I'm Catania Breathes. And I'm on Facebook, of course. It sucks to be quarantined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow,
Sucks to Be Quarantined. Check that page out. Make sure you like it because you get notifications every time we go live. It's an amazing Sunday night. If you're not doing anything, 9:00, maybe live. So Kat, thank you so much for joining Funny Bits
Thanks
podcast.
For having me. This was so much fun. I could talk to y'all for like 40 hours just about white people. This was great. Thank you. And dessert. Your family don't love you if your blood sugar ain't high.
Right. I know that's right. So I will see.
I don't check it. So
I will see you in October for sure for the next installment of Sucks to Be Quarantined season 2 kicking up. I'm super excited. But please y'all go follow Kat Mosley on social media. Big things happening, and I love you. Be safe out there. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Isn't she amazing? I told y'all. And Larry, I can't believe you just let your birthday go by and didn't tell nobody. Ugh.
What's up with that, Larry?
Like you guys are on Facebook. I mean, damn.
First of all, I don't even know how to get my birthday announcements anymore on Facebook. I can't see them. So I don't even know whose birthday it is until they say, "Oh, thanks for the birthday wishes," and then I'm like, "Oh shit, happy birthday!"
Yeah, I mean, if things were like normal, I would have probably like put together a show around it.
That's right. Oh my god, I should have known that because in the memories it was coming up. We were at Sully's last year for your birthday show. I was on it. Hello. Oh my gosh, duh.
That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Last year, we were at that burger competition.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, the big
I wasn't included.
Yeah. We were judging those burger competition, and that was full and day drunk.
Yes, that was so much fun, Larry. Oh my gosh. I wish the pandemic wasn't happening because they would have probably did it again this year.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Oh, Burger Brawl. That was what it was called. Uh-oh.
Sorry, my whole internet is acting up. You know what it is? Everybody's using it right now. The kids are on virtual. Kayla's working from home, and I'm draining this internet too. So another great show. Real quick, tell everybody where they can find you, Carl, on social media.
You can find me at Carl Rogers on Facebook. You can find me at Iam.CarlRogers on Instagram. And you can find me somewhere teaching a bunch of kids. I'm here.
And Larry, where can they find you?
LarryXL.com, LarryXL on Facebook and Twitter, and comedian LarryXL on Instagram. And stay tuned. I'm going to start putting some shows up on the website because I got some fall and winter shows that I got booked. So I'll start announcing those. I get everything super like buttoned down and confirmed. But I got some shows in December booked already. Yep.
Awesome.
Indoor in a club.
And don't forget, y'all follow and like us on Funny Bits Podcast
in the club,
Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We'd appreciate it. Also, next week on September 24th, we have comedians Christine Olivas and Sam Cap, who most recently started a virtual comedy school, and I am one of the instructors, so we're going to talk about that when they come on. It's going to be amazing, and I'm super excited to see them. And let me give y'all the messages of the week. Of course, y'all know y'all can follow me at Latisse Comedy on everything. And message of the week. All right. I like this one. I always like them, which is why I picked them. So, if we do not take conscious control of our thoughts, we will be programmed by the mass opinion. And what we think creates our reality. Just remember that, y'all. I like it. All right, we're going to play ourselves out of here. Just make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel so you catch us every Friday Eve. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate it. Carl, you going to wrap us out of here or what?
Let's check it out. Turn me up into my ear. Turn me up in the mic. Yeah. I got something. Here you go. I just came down from the hills just to reveal mad crazy styles and crazy sex appeal. If you want to check us out, see you later. I come smooth and rough like alligator.
Ooh, okay.
That's all I got. That's all I
got bars. The hidden talents with my co-host, so you never know. All right, peace, y'all. We out.
All right, y'all.